What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer guys, and in this video we're going to spend some time talking about Escape from Tarkov Arena. The Toyko Gameshow just wrapped up, and 1 or 2 days ago they posted a 9-minute gameplay trailer. I took a look at it. I'm going to give some impressions, some breakdowns, and a couple of things that I personally noticed, in addition to just kind of talking about what we know from Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov Arena mode at this point, and kind of just going over it from there. So sit back, relax, let's dive into it. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't know that we have a ton of brand new information. There still isn't any specific release date, at least that I am seeing. That could obviously change in the very near future or very not so near future. We're not sure. And I think they have had a good opportunity now to demo this, get some people, plenty of people hands-on at the different game shows and things that they're coming along with. Here's what I will say about that. That to me is a good sign that this thing is getting pretty close in terms of polish and probably close to being ready. That's just my sense. You don't usually put something out like that if you're not that close. The website, if you have not been on it, which I am right now, is actually much updated with a ton of additional information than it has been since the last time I looked. And granted, last time I looked was a while ago. This is one of those things where I think people are really excited. I personally am very excited for this. I'm also a little nervous just with BSG's history and all that kind of stuff. I am looking forward to this, and I think at this point I'm just ready for this thing to come out, but I do want a clean and polished product. Not that there can't be adjustments, but I want a clean and polished product before it gets there. So let's take a look at a couple of things from the website that are just important, and maybe some details if you haven't been paying a ton of attention that are new to you, and then we'll jump into the trailer. So really quick here, again, this is cool. I definitely recommend go give this take a look at. So Arena essentially is purely PvP focused, well, with one exception, but we'll talk about that. PvP, VE, first person shooter, tactical team modes. Arena combines the hardcore mechanics of EFT and fast-paced gameplay of session matches. We'll see about that. Equipment ready. There's going to be a handful of different roles that you're going to be able to play. We'd seen this in an earlier screenshot. They give a few of them here, but essentially you're going to be able to do an assault role, CQB, scout, and sniper role. Really, this will ultimately determine essentially your rig, your helmet, your ears, the gear that you have, as well as the weapon and any secondary weapons that you also have. So that is important to note. It's also interesting, and we'll see this in the trailer, that it's very similar to a lot of other games in this sort of genre that are round-based. Money is going to be important. You're going to have to pay to utilize your loadouts and do certain things like that. We don't have a full good sense of what that looks like, but at the end of the gameplay trailer, we actually get a unique sneak peek of some of that stuff. So we'll talk about that when we get to the trailer. That's one of the big ones in terms of kind of sort of new information, at least for me, that I had seen. 2 games, 1 character. We're still a lot of discussion around this, that you're sharing things between your character level skills, weapon mastering, that basically you can do both in both. Obviously the games in Arena are going to be much shorter and much more compact. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out. This definitely needs some balancing, and they need to do a lot with here that I still think can get kind of screwed up. Rank matters. There is ranked games, and you'll play against opponents of equal skill, so that is important to note. We'll see that in the trailer as well. Plenty of weapons and modifications, as you would imagine, in Escape from Tarkov. If you pre-order, you get this cool Rizhi skin with the shotgun, so that's all cool. So we have a bunch of game modes here: shootout, round robin tournament. You've got team fight, which is what we're going to see from this 9-minute gameplay trailer. You've got overrun, which is a PvE missions for 5 players. The goal of the team is to clear the location waves of enemies, complete the given objective, and evacuate. I personally, after having seen and heard a little bit about this, I am like very excited for this. This is going to be really fun to play with a group of people, I think. Think of it, I don't want to say this because I don't know, but think of it kind of like a zombie mode with objectives. Could be really cool, but against Tarkov, you know, enemies, AI, bots, bosses, that kind of stuff. I have a feeling this if the regular shootout or team fight doesn't go or live up to expectations, Overrun will be something that I play with my friends a lot. My only hope for this is that you can queue this, not necessarily privately, but you can queue it with your private group and limit it to less than 5 players. Not that getting 5 people is hard, but sometimes your buddies aren't going to be on. It'd be cool to take on this challenge with 2 or 3 friends instead. Time will tell, but we'll see. You've got Last Hero, which is a deathmatch between multiple players. Goal of each player is to score the most amount of kills in the allotted time. So this is just going to be essentially deathmatch. Just keep going. And then we have Duel, which, as you can imagine, I can't click on it, but imagine it's just going to be 1v1. Also, they need to update the picture for this because it looks pretty low res. And I didn't even talk about Shootout. It's a round robin. Each team plays against each other in solo, duo, or trio modes. The 2 teams with most victory points meet in the final to determine the winner of the tournament. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about this. What we do see, and there is quite a few, there's Sawmill, Bay 5, Air Pit, Equator, The Bowl, The Box, and Resort. We have seen at least screenshots of these first 4, not much from the last 3. But Equator, we get a really good look at the size of the map and get a good feel in the gameplay that we'll see from that 9 minutes little showcase, gameplay showcase. And this map looks pretty cool. I will say it looks like the lanes are pretty neat. Some good kind of sight lines. You can climb and get on top of some of these things if you want to expose yourself like that or get a vantage point. So that looks pretty cool. So map design, at least for this map, seems like it might be okay. I don't know, but that could be pretty neat. And then again, there's a whole bunch of stuff in terms of showing these things off. So let's jump over into this. To be honest, if you want to see what this looks like and get a good idea for the pace of this, you certainly can. I'm not going to play through the whole thing. A couple of things I want to note that I just happened to see. First and foremost, and I know the top of my screen is blurred here, this, in terms of damage player model, if you will, seems, I don't want to say simplified. It just looks like it was redesigned a little bit to highlight the damage that you're receiving better. And if you watch the clips and take a look through some of this stuff, when he ends up getting shot, you kind of notice how it just seems to stand out a little bit more. And let's see if I can play a little bit of a clip before they end up getting killed here. This is the recap here. Let me go back a handful more seconds. You can kind of just see it just seems like it's a little bit more clearly defined, which is really nice. We also get a good sense for this, essentially kind of like, this is not a kill cam per se. This is actually kind of like the round finish or the kill cam, depending on what side you are on. You can see it will swap to this camera view for anybody that is still alive on your team that's still fighting. And obviously red team picks up the round win here. We get a good look here at the end screen as well, just to kind of show this off. So it shows you your kills, your deaths, your assists, and kind of how you've progressed in that round, and obviously round victory. So this is team fight, best of 7 rounds to be able to get this done. Again, you get a good sense for the map. You get a good sense for at least a few of these player loadouts at the very beginning, if I can scroll to one here, in terms of some things that you might see. So it looks like you get a decent complement of meds. So an AFAC, a calc, you get an adrenaline and a splint. This one particularly has an MCX, you have an hex grid, you have a TC800. Note years on this. You've got an alpha rig and you've got an MCX, which again, with again, 2 60 rounders and a handful of 40 rounders. So it looks like you're loaded out pretty well. They also have a P226 with this. And then you get an armband that denotes your color. What is important to note, at least in Teamfight that I saw, that probably wasn't a question for a lot of folks, but this just gives confirmation, is the fact that you can TK your friends. That happens at some point in this video. Where is it? It happens here somewhere. This guy is like chasing somebody. No, he finishes the round here. I think it was the next round where he gets TK'd. I think it might be here, maybe. Yeah, he gets TK'd right here. You can see it in the corner right there at the bottom. It's gonna happen. It's probably gonna happen more often than not. You can check just right down here in the corner. I don't want to subscribe to IGN, but you can see red player kills red player with AP. The other thing that I noticed, there are some very, very high quality rounds as a part at least of these loadouts. AP 995. There's a couple that I noticed that are very, very good. Flechettes on a shotgun, I believe, that I saw. The cool part here, as we had seen before, is you get this kind of like little outline diagram and kind of this breakdown of how much damage did you do, how many hits did you take, where did you get shot, so on and so forth. So that is pretty cool as well. So that's really all I had to take away outside of actually getting to see the map, and I don't have necessarily a great perspective to showcase that. I do recommend go take a look at it, go watch the video. The gameplay will give you a pretty good sense. This feels very much like Tarkov to me just by watching this gameplay. I didn't see any more fluid movement. I didn't really see any of that. Some of the other things that I thought would be maybe a little bit more streamlined, such as like grenade throws and stuff, you're still pulling it out and prepping it before you throw it. So it looks like a lot of the mechanics of Escape from Tarkov are here. It definitely feels, I would say, somewhat fast-paced. It also did feel like the TTK was a little bit higher than it would be in the normal game, although that's really hard to judge just with seeing it and player shooting and what kind of hits they're getting and accuracy and those kinds of things. So don't take that comment at full value. But I just felt like I would say that, and I realized that I am in the way of this that I was showing. But right there, you can see it. Okay, so not a great representation. Sorry about that. I just noticed that way too late. So the last thing I do want to say is you get a cool little end screen that shows off a few things. So it shows you off experience. Here is where I think they need to be careful. 1,000 experience for what essentially equated to maybe 7 minutes of gameplay. 6 to 7 minutes of gameplay is way too much, in my opinion. Okay, especially if it's shared with your other character. Way too much. Way too much. That needs to be better balanced. That's just my sense, but 1,000 XP for that much is too much. You're also going to see here, this is going to essentially be your rank reward points or your deduction if you end up winning or losing the match. So this will adjust your rank. These are the ranks right here. These guys are all the same, but these are the ranks here that you can see. XP, obviously, and then you get a total ruble value at the end of the match. Now, we don't get a full good look at this, unfortunately, because the screen is, this crap is covering this up. Thanks, IGN. But here at the end screen, again, you get your standard kind of like post any FPS shooter screen, how well you did, how much experience you got. Now, your experience is based off your kills, your deaths, and your assists, it looks like. So each of those are assigned a different point value. It looks like if you are the round winner, you get some extra bonus because this guy had 1 less death with 1 more assist and got 500 extra XP. So if you really excel in this game mode, it seems like you're going to get rewarded for that. You can see on this side, not so much for the blue team. They kind of got poo-pooed on. And then here is really the interesting part. I would love to see what this is covering, but it looks like essentially you get a certain reward based on your performance and or team performance. You paid for your loadout. I'm going to guess you paid for like heals maybe and something else, heals here and ammo maybe, I'm not sure, but it gives you a total ruble amount that you will end with. And I would imagine that that's something that you can apply going forward, either to purchase additional loadouts, maybe unlock things. I'm not sure. We also get a good idea here of the ranking system. So you can see that you're going to have to earn quite a bit of rank to go from one rank to another. I don't know how high this veteran is. I would assume pretty high. And then you also see your total player experience calculation. So you got 550 for combat experience and a bonus 500 experience for winning the match. So it'll be interesting to see how all that stuff folds out and kind of how the experience works in that regard. But again, it looks like it is mirroring up with your player on your Escape from Tarkov account. For a lot of folks, that isn't going to matter, but this is going to be an interesting balance for that when this does release, because again, I can see people just grinding this and then vastly accelerating at least probably the early levels of Escape from Tarkov versus like later game. You need a ton of experience to, so like there becomes this weird scale where early on it's going to be too much, in the middle probably be fine, and then at the end it's going to be basically no experience at all. So be just kind of interesting to see. But I figured I'd share that. break this down a little bit and go through a few things that I saw in terms of that. So let me know what you're thinking. I'm very excited for a few of these things. I would love to see an actual good showcase from BSG, and more so important, just let's figure out when this thing's going to come out. I think at this point we've been waiting long enough, and I know they've talked about, you know, hopeful releases and things like that. If we see this by year end, be very excited, but hold my breath on that. Not that I don't think it could happen, but just it is what it is with BSG, and I'm okay with them not saying anything at this point because they'll just get absolutely slaughtered if they do and they miss it. I'm just excited. I'm excited for something new, something different, and I'm excited to see how this plays. And just some of these game modes I think are going to be really, really fun, to be honest with you. I am super, super excited for this Overrun game mode. I think this has the potential chance to be really, really cool if like the AI and stuff is not really, really dumb. Or if you get an opportunity to like revive teammates or do something else with this where you're not just watching your friends play after you die. If that has some of these mechanics built into it, this potentially could be the most fun thing that comes out of this, especially if maybe you don't want to just do PvP. But I also think that this could relate a lot to those folks that want to get into this game and be interested in it, and may also help with some of your weapon skill and handling in actual Escape from Tarkov with all the different game modes that we have. So let me know what you're down. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But I'm going to close this one out, flash some socials. Thanks for all the support. Our Escape series and our Hardcore series are running strong. So we got some great episodes for both coming up here, and recently check those out. We've had some crazy moments on both, so super excited with all that stuff. So if you're interested, we're doing 2 Hardcore episodes a week and 1 Escape episode a week, so hopefully you're enjoying that. More EFT content and more Starfield coming to the channel as well. So just stay tuned for that. We've just been grinding, having some fun, really just kind of enjoying both games, which has been a nice break. So hopefully you've been able to at least do that for Tarkov and whatever else you happen to be playing at this point. And if we get any more arena news, confirmed official arena news, we'll be sure to show it or showcase anything else that they decide to show, and we can dissect a little bit. But I'll close it out. Doc Every Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.